I'm Saturday hauling for you guys today, and I'm going to go ahead and start off with an order that I placed off of the Lisa Eldridge website. She came out with the foundation, Seamless Skin Foundation, and I had gotten a little 4-pack sample card with my lipstick order that I placed, and I had worn it, I want to say 2 videos ago or so, and I really liked the formulation on my skin. I just felt that I needed a little bit deeper shade for me, so I did go ahead and get the shade number 2, which was the lightest one with the pink undertones, and then I also got the shade 14, which was the next one down with the pink undertones. And I've got 2 pumps of the 14 with 1 pump of the shade number 2 on my skin today, and I think it's a perfect match for me. In the summertime, I could probably just, even right now, depending on what setting powder I use, I could probably just get away with the shade 14. But the pumps are very small in terms of, like, if you were to compare it to other foundations in terms of a pump, it's like a half a pump. So like comparing to other foundations, I would say it's like a pump and a half of foundation that I have on my skin, but it's a 2/3, I guess. I got 2/3 14 to 1/3 of the shade number 2, and again, I feel like it matches my skin so well. And I've had this on for about 5 hours today, and it still looks so nice. And then when I wore the sample card, it looked nice throughout the whole day, which is one of the reasons why I really wanted to get it. The only thing that'll stop me from wearing this foundation like super consistently, which I have not done yet because I did just get it, is if it breaks my skin out, and then in the summertime there's no SPF. And I do wear a substantial amount of SPF, the Josie Maran SPF 47, and so that's why I do have to set this foundation, because of the amount of SPF. But I do like to double up in the summertime and have a couple layers of SPF on my skin because I'm outside so much. But anyway, to the foundation, this is what the box packaging looks like. There's great information on her website, and then there's a card in here with information as well, and it's got a QR code for a tutorial on how to use the foundation. So you just kind of pull the little card out like that, and it's got information with the foundations. And she does call this a self-setting foundation. I do set it, again, because of the amount of SPF that I put on. It's just going to be too slippy. If I don't set my foundation, it won't last very long. I did notice though that I felt like I didn't need quite as much powder as normally with this foundation as opposed to other ones, but it still didn't feel drying at all on my skin. So I really have been enjoying the formulation of the foundation. We'll just talk about the bottle a little bit. She does a really good job of explaining why she chose this bottle and stuff. It's ergonomically kind of like a little sculpture situation with the divot right there. This is the shade 14, and it's a frosted glass bottle with a plastic cap. And again, I think the packaging is really cool. It's got a pump on there, and then if you want to, which she mentioned in her video, you can keep the base of the box if you want to set it up like this. And again, I like the packaging. I think it's really pretty and stuff like that, but there's one thing that does annoy me and that every time that I put the cap back on, I mean, I could just put it on, but it doesn't line up properly. It's not a symmetrical shape. You have to kind of line the point up, which is, there's only one higher point on the bottle. You have to line it up to get it to be on properly. That's just that's just the only little annoyance that I have with the bottle packaging. But let me swatch the shade 14. I do wish that I didn't have to push so hard on the nozzle, because I like to use the shade number 2 as a concealer, which is actually what's underneath my eyes today, is just the shade number 2, and I think that it looks really pretty. I squirt out too much, because even with the littlest amount of pressure, just like a whole pump still comes out, so it's a little difficult to get like a half of a pump out of here because you have to push kind of hard on it. And then I got the shade number 2 here, which again, this is, see, I try to get like just a little bit, but I still end up putting out too much product. Let me swatch them individually so you can see them. So here is the shade number 14, and then here is the shade number 2, and then I've got them mixed on my skin today, 2/3 and 1/3. Again, I've got more of 14 than I have of number 2, and it just blends really well into my skin tone. So that's kind of the foundation color that I have on my skin, and there's 14, and then there is number 2 right there. So those are the Seamless Skin, the foundation shades that I got, 2 and 14. And then I also wanted to try her Elevated Glow highlighter. I got the shade Crystal Nebula. It's got 0.43 fluid ounces of product in there, so it is this guy right here. And I went by the description on the shades, which this one was recommended for the fair skin tones, fair light skin tones. Real quick, the foundation and this highlighter are both made in Italy, and there's 1 ounce in each bottle of the foundation, and again 0.43 ounce in the highlighter. It's got a big doe foot applicator, frosted glass right here, and then this is a plastic top that you can pull out like this. Originally when I looked at it, I was like, it's going to be much too dark for me. But because the base of this is like a really thin translucent skin tone color, your skin kind of absorbs that deeper part of this product, and then you're left with like the shiny part. So I thought, like, when I swatched it, it looked really pretty blended out on my hand, so I was really excited to put it on my cheeks. It's right there, so you can see it looks a little bit darker, right? And then if you start blending it out, your skin kind of absorbs the deeper skin part, and you're left with like this shine. It's a very sheer shine of a product. Like, I was thinking this was going to be a little bit more similar to the Samantha Ravndal Auric Beauty Glow Lust, which I absolutely love those products, but it's not. It's just much more sheer of a product. I mean, it does add luminosity to my skin and stuff like that, but I had watched her video and she had mentioned how nicely that this product worked with the foundation, so I went to use it today. I had the number 2 concealed underneath my eyes, and then I had the 14 and 2 all over my face, and then before I set it or anything like that, I was like, let's try the highlighter because it's supposed to, you know, mesh so well with the foundation. So I put some on, and I just dabbed it on the top of my cheeks, and it went really patchy, and it did not want to blend in with the foundation. So it ended up like patchy on the top of my cheeks, and I was like really annoyed by that because I tried to fix it with highlighter, which I think for the most part I got it kind of fixed, but I still think it looks a little bit patchy right there on my skin. So it was very confusing to me because they're supposed to work really well together, and they just did not want to blend. So I worked a little harder with trying to blend them together, and the more that I tried to, you know, make the highlighter blend in and not look patchy, the more it removed the foundation. So I was quite annoyed with that. I might try it like an overall kind of highlighter before I put the foundation over the top of it, which is something I think she mentioned in her video, but I think that I should still be able to use this nicely over the foundation when I put it on, kind of like a subtle highlighter. So I'm not, you know, I'm not crazy about this so far. I love my Samantha Auric Glow Lust. Like, I will swatch. This is the new shade of the Morganite. She reformulated Morganite once, and it's a little bit lighter of a shade, and now I think she reformulated all her Glow Lust to be vegan, if I'm not mistaken, but this is one reformulation before the latest one, but it's lighter than the original Morganite. Anyway, let me swatch it so you can see the difference between the two. Here is the Lisa Eldridge Crystal Nebula, and then here is the Auric Glow Lust in Morganite. And this here, it feels more dry, where like the Auric feels just like more dewy and more nourishing compared to the Lisa Eldridge one. And I so far I really prefer the Auric over the Lisa Eldridge formulation. It just, a little bit of a regret. I'm going to continue to try it a couple different ways. Like I said, I'm going to put it underneath the foundation tomorrow when I use it to see how it goes. But I'm not that hopeful because even the dry down on it almost has like this dryness effect to it. It just doesn't feel quite as nice as this Auric Glow Lust. But anyway, I did pick that up. I will play around with it. If by some chance in the world it becomes a favorite, you guys will hear about it. So that's the Lisa Eldridge Elevated Glow in Crystal Nebula right there. And then lastly, from Lisa Eldridge, I got another one of her Enhance and Define lip pencils, and I got the shade Petal because it looked like it was going to be a really light nude pink shade, and it's actually more of a mid-tone rose on my skin tone, so I'm a little disappointed in that. Again, it's really hard for me to pick shades off of her website. Like, every time I've ordered a lipstick, I thought for sure it was going to be, you know, what I seen on the website, and it's always darker. So I guess I shouldn't have expected anything less with this lip liner, but it is deeper. Again, it's like a mid-tone rose on my skin tone. So I'm going to swatch the Petal shade, which this is a sharpening style pencil, and it's made in Germany, and there's 0.04 ounces of product in there. And I'm going to swatch it next to the other two shades that I've gotten from Lisa Eldridge in my haul two or so videos ago. But this is the shade, again, it's called Petal, right here. Oh, you guys, that's the wind. Somebody had posted a meme I seen online, and they said it was hurricane season in North Dakota because we legit get hurricane force winds in North Dakota. It's not quite hurricane force right now, but it is very windy outside, so ignore that noise, please. It's actually like trying to rain and freeze at the same time. Not cute. Anyway, here I'll swatch the shade Intrigue right here, which is a nude. And then the other shade that I have is the shade Fawn, and I love the formulation of these lip pencils. That's why I got another one. But I kind of wish I would have just got these two. I'll get use out of this guy, but again, it's a little bit of a mid-tone rose on my skin tone. And then I will swatch it next to Charlotte Tilbury's Iconic Nude for reference for you guys, so you can see, because I know that Iconic Nude is a popular one, and you can really see the tones there. So we've got Petal, Intrigue, and Fawn, and then we have got Charlotte Tilbury Iconic Nude there for reference. And those are the Lisa Eldridge Enhance and Define lip pencils. And then before I go ahead and get into all the things that I purchased during the Sephora sale, I did purchase 2 more mascaras from Maybelline, and this is the Lash Sensational Sky High Mascara, and it's an 800 Blackest Black. I already opened one up, so it's right here, but this has been my favorite mascara since I first purchased it when it came out, which has been a while now, and I've tried different mascaras in the interim, and I just constantly go back to this one because it does not flake on me and it does not smudge on me. It kind of washes off a little bit more difficult. It almost is like kind of like how a 2-week mascara is, where you like roll it off your eyelashes, but it lasts so nice on the lashes, and it lengthens for me, and it volumizes, and I just really like this mascara. So I got 2 more of those. I'd like to probably turn over to a new mascara every month and a half or so. I've got really sensitive eyes, and I've also had LASIK, so I do like to keep my mascara pretty fresh. So again, I like to open up a new mascara probably every month and a half or so. But I have, again, tried other mascaras in the interim, and this is just, you know, high-end ones, middle-end ones, lower-end ones, all kinds of different ones. And I just love this one right here. So this is the Maybelline Sky High Lash Sensational. It's got one of those little rubber bristle brushes. If I could change one thing, it would be that the comb here was a little bit more firm, so that when you went to comb out the lashes, it didn't flex so much, because sometimes I do get a little bit of a clump or something that I wish that would comb out more, but then the wand flexes a little bit too much. So if I could change one thing about it, it would be that. But the formulation on this guy is beautiful, and I love what it does for my eyelashes. So I got 2 more of those guys. Now getting into the stuff that I purchased from the Sephora sale. So far, I still have things in my cart. I'm probably going to do at least 1 more order before Monday? It ends on Monday, yes. So I got 2 of the big guys of the Belif, the True Cream Moisturizing Balm. So these are the 3.3 fluid ounce bottles. I wanted to get 4 of them, and then I was like, just get 2 for now, and maybe we'll order 1 more. This is my favorite moisturizer. I use it as my last step in my face routine. I use it as my last step in my face routine every single night. I just love to glob it on, and I have dry skin, and it just does great things for me. So I got 2 more of these. In the meantime, when I was going to place my second order, these were sold out because I had one in my cart and then it said out of stock. So I went ahead and got 2 of the Explosive Hydration Holiday Sets, which are these guys right here. And in this set, you get a 50 milliliter or 1.68 fluid ounce tub of the True Cream Moisturizing Balm inside. And it's $38, which is the price of the cream alone. But in the set, you get 4 minis of more Belif products, which are the so you got the moisturizing balm, the Cleanse Aqua Balm makeup removing cleansing balm, you get the Aqua Balm sleeping mask, and you get a mini of the eye cream moisturizing eye balm. So for the same amount of money as the cream by itself, you can get the 4 little samples of the other Belif products. So I went ahead and I got those 2, and I'm hoping that purchasing those will get me through till April. We'll see. I also got the Too Faced Christmas Coffee bite-sized eyeshadow palette, which is this little guy. I've got all of these little palettes, and I like to get them every year. So I got this one, and it does smell kind of like almost a cinnamon type coffee. This guy's got 8 eyeshadows that are 0.024 ounces a piece. And it is made in the USA, assembled in the Dominican Republic. So this is the packaging right here. And then I'm going to show it side by side next to the Forbidden Fruitcake one, because there are some similar shades in there. But this one has got 5 mattes and 3 shimmers. The formulation on this is really nice. Nothing new in terms of the shade range for Too Faced. We've seen these shades over and over again, but I can say that the formulation in both of these two little palettes is really nice, because sometimes Too Faced can be hit or miss on their formulation, but these ones are both really nice. So those are the first 4. And again, this does have like a coffee kind of, I catch a little bit of cinnamon in it for whatever reason, but like a sweet coffee cinnamon scent. So those are the swatches for the Christmas Coffee palette right there from Too Faced. And then let me show it next to the Forbidden Fruit, because again, the color stories are quite similar in there between the two. You got a red, you got a green, and you got some neutrals. So you might not need both of them. But those are the little 2 new bite-sized palettes from Too Faced, and that's the Christmas Coffee right there. I did go ahead and purchase another one of the Too Faced Lady Bold Waterproof Featherproof Longwear Lip Liners in the shade Badass is what it is called. It is a nude shade. I hauled this in my Sephora video 2 videos ago, and it's actually the lip liner that I have on my lips today, and I love it. I love the formulation. I love the color. It glides on super easy. It lasts really nice. Just a really pretty nude, and it doesn't have a lot of product in it. There is 0.008 ounces or 0.23 grams of product in this guy. And because it's got, let me see here, this is the one that I've been using. It's got a click style pen, like you push the end right here and the product comes out. There's no way to tell when you're almost out of product. So I got another one. And then for reference, in terms of the amount of product that you're getting, the Lisa Eldridge lip pencils have 1.2 grams. Again, this is 0.23 grams. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 pencils. 5 of these for like one of these, maybe 4 point something, but you get the drift. There's way more product than the Lisa Eldridge pencil. And then the ColourPop Lippy Sticks, there's 1 gram of product. So like 4 Too Faced pencils to 1 ColourPop Lippy pencil. So you are not getting a lot of product, but again, the formula is really nice. So I went ahead and I got another one. I will swatch it on my hands for you guys. It is the lip liner that I have on my lips today again. I just love the color. It is such a pretty light nude. It's light, but it's also definitive enough for me. And I just love it. And I just keep wearing it. So you like, that's how you get the product out. It's probably almost out already. But that's the Too Faced Lady Bold Lip Pencil in the shade Badass right there. And then I got another one of the Norwegian Chroma Sticks makeup pencils, and it is the green shade. It came back into stock. It's Viridian Green is what it is called. This is what I've got on my waterline today. So it's these guys. The original one that I hauled is the electric blue shade. I love both of these colors. I think that they're so pretty and they last really well on the waterline. But each time I use these, I feel like they're already like drying out. It does say 12 months on the packaging, but it is a long wearing pencil. It's a twist up. It's not a sharpening one. I would have put this in a sharpened style pencil to help it not dry out so quickly, because again, they're the twist up kind like this, and I feel like again they're drying out already. We'll see how long they last. I'm only going to purchase these 2 because I got a hunch that they are going to dry out really quickly. I have to wipe my waterline off with a Q-tip and then warm this up on the back of my hand and then put it on the waterline to get it to adhere. That is how hard it is for me to get it to stick to the waterline. But once on the waterline, it lasts really well. So again, it's the liner that I have on my waterline today, and I've had this on for about 5 hours and there's no wear yet. I'll get some wear probably about 8 o'clock tonight. There will be just a little bit of fading on the outer corner, but again, the longevity on these is super nice. And based how they swatch on my hand, it's not something that I would try to use on the skin. I don't use a pencil liner on my upper lash line, but I know a lot of people do. These are going to drag for you, so I only use them on the waterline, and they're finicky. But they are really pretty and they last really long. So I'm just going to swatch the 2 shades again. This is Electric Blue right here. Such a pretty electric blue. And then the new one that I have is the Viridian Green, and it's what I've got on my waterline today. And the Viridian Green one actually feels a little bit more stiff and dry compared to the electric blue one. I mean, I hope they last. I'm hoping for the best, but Doesn't look promising. And then I heard so many people talk about how much they loved the Dior Backstage Face and Body Powder No Powder. So I went ahead and I purchased one. It is the shade N0, which I believe is the lightest shade that they have. And this is a baked jelly powder. So the first thing that it reminded me of, you know, in terms of a pressed powder for the face, and it's a baked gelée, is the NARS Translucent Crystal Pressed Powder. And this is similar to that because it's a baked jelly formulation, but it's got a skin tone color to it. It still has that same type of slip, but it's a little bit more of a softer powder compared to the NARS one. There's a little bit more filler to it as opposed to the NARS one that has more, I think, silica to it. Granted, this is a silica-based powder. So the first 3 ingredients, you got mica, dimethicone, and silica. And too much silica in a powder for me just doesn't sit pretty on the skin. And I'm sure it has a lot to do with, again, the amount of SPF that I have on my face. It just grabs onto any moisture that's in my foundation or my sunscreen or whatever I have on my skin when I put the powder on top of it. And it just tends to kind of gather. And so for that reason, I've never been crazy about like a pure silica powder like the By Terry, which is a favorite of a lot of people. That By Terry Hydra powder, that does that to me, and that really makes my skin feel dry. I wore this yesterday and I still got a little bit of that like patchiness. It like made my foundation go a little bit patchy. Granted, because this is a baked jelly product, you do need to use a little bit more stiff brush, and I used a brush and I thought I was getting quite a bit of product on there because again, you have to work at a baked jelly product to get that product to pick up. And when I don't get enough powder on my brush and then go to set my face, my brush will actually pick up some of the product. So that could be part of it as well. And it's got a nice luminosity to it. I got to play around with it a little bit more. I'm not in love with it off the bat. It didn't make my skin feel dry, which is good considering the third ingredient in here is silica. And one thing that I really noticed was this has a smell that's very similar to the Charlotte Tilbury Magic Loose Powder. It's got that, I think she described it as like a earthy smell. It's got that same type of smell to this powder, which I thought was really interesting. And I really do like the Charlotte Tilbury Magic Powder for setting my face. I do not like it underneath the eyes, and I won't like this underneath the eyes either because it has some luminosity to it, and that emphasizes any fine lines underneath my eyes. So I don't like to use a powder that has like a sparkle or anything in it. And this isn't like sparkly, but it does have a sheen to it. It's not like a flat matte powder. And I probably get on with the Charlotte Tilbury one because it's loose, so I'm able to pick up enough product on my brush for when I set my face. So I need to play around with this a little bit more. I did notice that I had a breakout, like one right here underneath my chin last night, which I typically don't get. And then I had one on the side of my head right there too. I don't know if it's this powder, but I'm going to give it a couple days and then I'm going to try it again. And if I get another one, then we're not going to use this no more because I do not like to have breakouts. So again, I wasn't crazy about the finish on the skin. It could be because I hadn't picked up enough product on my brush because it's baked gelée and it is a little bit harder to pick up that much product on the brush to set my face. But so far I'm just not crazy about it. So there's 11 grams of product, or 0.38 ounces, and it's made in Italy because it's baked gelée, of course, and it's got a plastic kind of see-through packaging. I know, again, a lot of people really love this powder, but I'm a little on the fence with it yet. So I'll keep trying it. Again, if it ends up being something that I love, I'll probably repurchase it and use it up. If you never hear about it again, I don't like it. So that's the Dior Backstage Face and Body Powder to No Powder. I'll swatch it. Again, this is the shade 0N. It gave my skin a little bit of extra coverage, but not a lot. And you can see, yeah, you can see in the powder there's a slight bit of luminosity to it. It's not like flat matte. And that would be the #1 ingredient is mica. So there you have it. And then before I go ahead and get into the eyeshadow palettes that I purchased, I did go ahead and get this Lawless Forget the Filler. It's the Lip Plumping Line Smoothing Gloss Mini Trio. And I had heard really good things about this product. And here is a mini set. And they only actually have 3 shades in the full size range too, because I looked. And these are minis of the 3 shades that they have available. So it's this guy right here, this little set from Lawless, and I actually had been keeping the shade Velvet, which is the deepest of the 3, in my pocket, and I've been putting it on kind of like I would a lip balm in my pocket or a reapplication of lipstick or something like that to really get a feel for it. And I like this. It's got a little bit of tack to it, but for whatever reason I don't feel like I have like a goopy gloss on my lips, and it does have a tingling sensation. It's not minty. For me, it almost feels like a cooling sensation a bit, and I do think that it plumps the lips a little bit. At least it makes them look like they're smoother and kind of hydrated. So I've been enjoying these. I think I might go ahead and get the full size in the Daisy Pink. I might be getting ahead of myself a little bit, but it's my favorite shade out of the three, this really pretty pink shade. But I like the formulation. Again, I've been using it kind of like a lip balm, and it's been making my lips feel and look really nice. So let me swatch these three shades. Each one is 0.05 fluid ounces, and Lawless products are made in the USA, or at least these ones are. So we'll swatch Velvet, which is this one right here. And they're just really lightly tinted too, like it's not too much. Such an easy color to wear. And they have a sweet scent to them. Like kind of like a candy scent, but it's not very strong at all. And then here we've got the shade Daisy Pink. I think I'm just going to go ahead and get this one in my last hurrah order of the sale, because I like these. I think that they're really nice. And then we've got the shade Rosy Outlook, which is kind of a milky pink, but on the skin it just kind of looks like clear. Right there. Yeah, they smell really nice. And they're not minty. They're not like minty plumping. I get, again, like I do get a sensation. It's like a cooling kind of sensation almost. And they feel great. So those are the Lawless Forget the Filler Lip Plumping Line Smoothing Glosses right there, and I got the mini set. Also from Lawless, I got the Glam 1 eyeshadow palette. So this is a talc-free eyeshadow palette. There are 8 shades that are 0.03 ounces or 1 gram per shade, and it's also made in the USA. So here's the box packaging. But I do get along with the Lawless eyeshadow formulation really well. I've got their larger palette too, and this is a really pretty one. I just wish that one of these shades, like this top one, when I swatch it, you'll see it's deeper than it looks in the pan. I wish it was just a bit lighter so it would be a standalone palette for me, but everything's kind of mid-tone or deeper in here, so I do bring in something a little bit lighter. So there are these 2 shimmers and then these 6 matte shades. And these shimmers are beautiful. They're like, well, they're metallics actually, and they're really stunning. Like super foiled, beautiful shades. And the mattes are great. They're pigmented, they blend out nice. So there are the first 4. And then the bottom row here. Oh gosh, right? So metallic, so pretty. See, in this, it's shining like it'd be light enough, but it is actually like a deeper mid-tone kind of silvery taupe. But the colors are beautiful in here. I just have to bring in something a little bit lighter to kind of make it work for how I like to do shadow. But that is Lawless, the Glam 1 right there. And then next up, I did purchase the Naked Urban Decay Cyber Eyeshadow Palette. It is this guy right here. I always get the Naked palettes. It's just a thing that I do, even though the formulation on Urban Decay has been very hit or miss for me. I think the best way that I could describe Urban Decay shadows is they're still 10 years behind. Eyeshadow has just come so far, and these are just so far behind in my opinion. And every time that Urban Decay comes out with a new eyeshadow palette, I'm expecting an amped up better version in their shadows, and it's just like they're just not doing it. So I feel no different about this one. Let me tell you a little bit about how much product is in here, if I can read it. There are 12 shades that are 0.03 ounces per shade, and this is made in the USA of US and or imported materials and finished in the Dominican Republic is what it says on the packaging. So box packaging, actual packaging, hard plastic, same like the ultraviolet, same style of packaging is that one right there. I think the packaging is gorgeous. It's really pretty. This is a duochrome style eyeshadow palette. It's got, I would say, 3 true mattes in there: the Virtual, Gadget, and Bite shade, and then the AI shade is kind of a satin finish. And I originally thought there'd be like some multi-chrome shadows in here, but these are kind of just duochromes, and they are Naked style duochromes. like they're following the line of, you know, the Naked palettes and being that they're a more subtle kind of duochrome, but the formulation is dry and flaky. And originally when I put this on, I had this in the crease and it actually was deep enough for my skin tone to make a nice look out of it. But I put this shade on the inner portion and then I followed it with this one, and I think this guy right here, and I thought it looked really pretty off the bat. I was like, hey, this ain't so bad, you know, even though I had to work with those mattes a little bit with blending and building, and I had to grind into those shimmers to pick up the product, they packed on really shiny. But as the day went on, my lid looked less and less sparkly, and my under eye looked more and more sparkly. And they're not like super like micro glitters. There are some in here, but even like this kind of more just shimmer shade, the sparkles were just disappearing, and they were disappearing to underneath my eye, and I was not cool with it. I don't recall a time other than like a micro glitter situation where sparkles just disappeared off my eye or went underneath my eye. So it was really random. I think they need to go consult with some indie brands. I think that's what they need to do. Anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and swatch it for you guys. Again, they were on the right path for like a duochrome, you know, Naked palette. I'm not mad at the color selection, but yeah. What disappointed me the most, even when I liked the initial look that I did out of it, was by the end of the day, it did not look like it did when I put it on. It was just sparkle all over underneath my eyes, and it wasn't cute. And I get the idea of, you know, Naked Cyber and them being like Naked type shades, but the formulations are just not, they're just not there, man. And then these last four, this does come with the same old double-ended synthetic shadow brush as well in there. I would have had to use a glitter glue, I think, to make those sparkles stick. But with some of the shiniest, sparkliest multi-chrome shadows that I have, I don't have to use a glitter glue. So anyway, so that's the Urban Decay Naked Cyber eyeshadow palette right there. And then next up is the Gucci Floral eyeshadow palette. It's satin, matte, and metallic finishes. I went back and forth on this and back and forth on this, and I just could not with the packaging. I was like, I need to have that in my collection. And I had heard really mixed reviews on the shadow formulation, and I was just hoping that I would like them. And I was really surprised that I loved the look that came out of this palette. I was very, very surprised by that. So there's 0.31 ounces of product in here across 12 shades, which you are getting a very, very small amount of product. And considering how large the compact is, we should have got more product. You're getting just under 0.026 ounces per shade in here. And again, the packaging is quite large. So let me hold it next to the Urban Decay Naked palette. It's a very large compact, so the pans should have been bigger, I think. Granted, I am really happy that I got this palette because the packaging is so pretty. It's very nicely weighted. It just looks stunning. I think I need to like set it out just to look at it because that's how pretty the compact is. So it's got a push button that you open up like so, and then there's the mirror. And they must be going to do something like refillables or some other color stories, because this does pop out right here. And then you've got your shadows. So it pops out of the compact. So they must be going to do something with that. The Gucci bronzer is also magnetized in there. You can pull that out as well. It would be nice to see refills in that because that packaging is gorgeous too. And if I could just buy a refill as opposed to another bronzer, that'd be great. The Gucci 01 is my favorite bronzer. I love it. So when I wore this palette, I did bring in a little bit of Aether Beauty Pure Diamond Dust for the inner corner, and then I took this silver and I put it over kind of the inner 2/3 of the lid, and then I took this kind of taupey satin kind of shimmer on the outer portion, and then I blended out with this brown and then this guy, and I put and this peach, put that one underneath the brow, and then I took this egg kind of blue shade and just popped it right underneath the front of the brow there. And there was something about the look that came out of these shadows that just looked so pretty. I used a really deep navy cake water activated eyeliner for my wing that day, It was stunning. I went into it thinking I was going to hate the eyeshadow formula, and I don't hate it. I think it's pretty nice. The matte shadows are really soft. They're actually all really soft kind of shadows, but the matte shadows in particular, when you put your brush in there, you do get some kick up in the pan. So I would use a softer brush just so you don't get so much kick up because there isn't a ton of product in there. But I was not mad at this like I thought I was gonna be. It was quite nice. I was going back and forth whether or not to wear this in today's video because of how much I liked that look that I did out of it the other day. But I wore a different palette that I'm going to talk about next, which I'm sure you guys already know which one it is. Yeah, it was just like, it was like how I think of some Dior, like just a sophisticatedly pretty look that came out of here. And I just wasn't expecting to like that as much as I did. I've got tons of Gucci's quads from when they first launched. I loved that formula. And the thing with formulas back then, when they were amazing back then, shadow has advanced to so far that when you go back to them, it's just like, they were great in their time. But again, things have improved so much since then, but that's a whole thing. Anyway, these next four. I was super happy to get this during the sale, that's for sure, because this one is expensive. But like, I think that this would make a beautiful Christmas gift for people who like a sophisticated, soft, but still really pretty eye look. That's how I felt when I wore it. And this compact, you guys, this compact is so beautiful. Let's just admire it for a moment, shall we? Isn't that stunning? So that is the 01 Floral palette from Gucci right there. And then lastly, but certainly not least, for what I purchased during the sale so far, again, I've got some more things in my cart, or my bucket. I did get the Huda Beauty Rose Quartz eyeshadow palette. When I first saw pictures of this, it was just like, you know, wipe the drool off my face type of situation, because I really feel like Huda made this palette just for me. These are my shades. So this is actually the eyeshadow palette that I have on my eyes today. It's a standalone palette for me, and it's absolutely stunning. Everybody that I've seen that has purchased this palette has loved it, and I love it too. It's a stunner, you guys. It is in line with the Naughty palette. I feel like the formulations between the Naughty and this one are very similar, and also the Mercury Retrograde, very much along those lines. So this has got a total of 0.61 ounces of product. So there's slightly more product in this guy compared to both Mercury Retrograde and also the Naughty palette by just a little bit, but it still averages out to be just under 0.034 ounces per shade. I do wish there was more product because some of those shimmer shades, I've been using certain ones a lot every time I've used this, and I'm like, I'm going to use it up so quickly. Do I need a backup? No, you don't. But anyway, here is the packaging right here. This palette is made in Italy. Her 9-pan palettes are typically made in China, and her larger palettes are usually made in Italy. So again, this one is made in Italy. The packaging on this is absolutely stunning. You've got a mirror inside of there, and then here are your shades. Now, in comparison to the Naughty palette, I could not wait to smush my finger into that glossy shade, because the little like pigment balls that were in there were circular, and I just wanted to smash them. These ones are not circular. These ones are more like flakes. I appreciate flakes over like the circular balls for whatever reason. I actually didn't mind that this one was in there. I had actually used the shade in the Naughty palette, which kind of was a creamy sparkly mauve. They make good bases to really adhere those shiny shades and like give them an extra boost, even though over a tacky primer they already have an extra boost by themselves, but it does slightly amp them up. So I don't have the gloss on today, and it's just super sparkly, so pretty. So I'm sure you guys have heard everybody talk about this palette, but it is wonderful. It's everything that everybody's been saying and more. If you were thinking of one thing during the sale, this would be it. I love it. I love the color story. I love the performance. The mattes are pigmented. They blend out. The shimmers are so shiny, so stunning. It's a good one. These guys. Gosh, these are so foily. I kind of feel like this is the start of the Sephora sale, you know? I really do. And then here's the gloss. You can see I got a little bit of shimmers in there that time. When I first swatched it, it was actually lighter, so I must be getting a little bit more of the pigmented parts of the gloss now. This shade though, can we just? Maybe I do need a backup. And then this bottom row. I can't get enough of this shade either. It's so well-rounded too with the color selection. It doesn't matter what colors you pick out of here. Everything goes together and it's beautiful. And then these last two. Oh, trying to fit them all on there. That was a terrible spot to put that shiny shade. Let me get a little bit more and put it like right here. Because it's really pretty too. It's like a shimmery pink. So there are the swatches right there of the new Huda Beauty Rose Quartz eyeshadow palette, and it is a stunner. And it's what I have on my eyes today. It's one of those ones you can just open up to look at, and it brings me joy. Just for reference, I've got Rose Quartz on top and then the Naughty palette on the bottom, so you can see that the Naughty palette is much warmer in tone than the Rose Quartz, which is much cooler. And here we've got the Rose Quartz on the top and the Mercury Retrograde on the bottom, which there are some similar shades between the two, but they're definitely not the same. Mercury Retrograde was in my favorites. I love the Mercury Retrograde palette. It's stunning as well. And then lastly, I got in one PR package from Farmacy, and I adore a ton of their skincare products. So they sent over this little green, nope, I was going to say Green Cleans Duo, but it's the Clean Greens Duo. And it's got a full size of the Deep Sweep 2% BHA Pore Clearing Toner, which I have gone through, I think, 2 full-size bottles of that. So it's a full size of that. And then it's got the Whipped Greens Cleanser in a 1.7 fluid ounce. And it's a $28 for this, which I think the toner... No, I think the toner is that much alone, if I'm not mistaken, but it's a $38 value is what it says. So it's a pretty good price for the two products, and I went through a whole tube of the whipped greens as well, so I like to use that as a second cleanse after I use like the Green Clean Cleansing Balm. Then I'll use the whipped greens over the top of it. But I have this little card that came inside the box, and I wanted to read it on here because I think this is a great thing that they're doing. It says, "This holiday season, we are grateful for your support of our brand and our mission to cultivate conscious beauty. In lieu of traditional holiday gifting, we have donated 50 meals in your name to Feeding America, the U.S.'s largest hunger relief organization, or Second Harvest, Canada's largest food rescue organization. In the U.S., more than 42 million people face food insecurity, yet 108 billion pounds of food is wasted every year. We believe in food for all, plus have pledged 1.5 million meals to Feeding America in 2021, which I just think is phenomenal." So it says, "Wishing you and your loved ones a happy and healthy holiday season. With gratitude, the Farmacy Beauty Team." It's just definitely worth mentioning. I think that's a great thing that they're doing. So huge thank you to Farmacy for sending this over, and also for what they're doing here with Feeding America. That's really nice. And that is everything that I have for my haul today. I hope you guys enjoyed this video and found it helpful. Thank you for watching. Do not forget to wear sunscreen, and I will see you guys later. Bye.